Good morning, and thank you for joining the Purpose Factor virtual experience. I'm so excited for everyone that is on the platform today. In August of this year, I attended the Woman, the Gifts virtual retreat hosted by the fabulous Miss Valerie C. Thompson, and she's on a speaker today. And I was so excited at this conference. After the conference, God placed it on my heart that, okay, once we discover our purpose and our callings and our gifts, what happens next? Fear. You get afraid. You talk yourself out of what God has placed on your heart. And the first time I was ever told that I would not accomplish what I said I would accomplish was when I shared God's will. The irony of that is God's will. I can only win by following Him, listening to Him, and doing as He instructs me to do. I can only win. So I had fear. And it literally took me about a year and a half to almost 2 years to actually walk and live in my purpose. The purpose of this event is to help every one of you to understand that fear is a part of the equation. So we're not going to talk about the fear factor. We're going to talk about the purpose factor. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about pushing through. And it's not about faith against fear, fear against faith. It's not about pain, purpose, pain. It's about purpose from pain. It is about faith for your fear. That's the purpose of faith. The purpose of faith in God is for your fear. God tells you you can do something, you can do it. It's already done. You simply have to manifest it. Listen to Him and follow. Every speaker on this platform today was heart chosen by me. And I adore everyone. I'm going to open up the platform and pass this off to the fabulous, dynamic, beautiful, lovely Miss Larissa Perret. Thank you.
Woo, thank you. Thank you so much. Look, I'm all drum roll. I'm all excited. I love that. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you so much for bringing us all together on this Saturday morning. This is the final quarter of the year, y'all. The final quarter, the last month of the final quarter of the year. I'm going to ask those who are in attendance to turn on your camera, okay? Because finding your purpose, a part of our purpose is knowing that it's not just about us. It's about the other people that we interface with. And so when you're a speaker, like all of us here today are going to be pouring our hearts and our love into you. This is your opportunity to give it to us, right? So we're going to be pouring to you. We want you to give to us too. So it's very helpful to see faces and not just a bunch of names. So go ahead. We don't care. We know it's Saturday morning. We know that everybody get up and do this and that and the other like they would normally do. But please, for the purpose of this, the next 2.5 hours, this is about me. This is about you. This is about all of us, okay? Coming together as women, as sisters. Thank you. So there are some who still haven't put their camera on. So please, if you are able, please put your camera on so we can see. Okay, so enough about that, right? So that's just some housekeeping stuff. We're gonna get started and get these amazing women who have taken time out of their schedule to come and share some goodness with us. The first person we had speaking is Shandy Ray. Shandy, you know I'm saying your name wrong. I already know it. I'm going to need you to correct me because that's rule number one with finding your purpose. Be clear about who you are. So definitely correct me on your name. But Shandy is an entrepreneur. She's a CEO of her own company, Shiro Runway Enterprise. And her whole mission, her whole purpose is not just to show up as beautiful and flawless as she is, but helping other women to do that as well, to really work on what areas in their life do they feel like they're not standing on the solid ground, where they may feel a little lack in self-esteem. She is here to show you how to be your own Shiro. Take it away, girl.
Thank you so much. And you know what? That doesn't bother me. It's Shandy Ray, but I take all of them because I turn into different people. So that'll give me my new personality. So anyway, it is afternoon here. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Good afternoon, ladies. And Miss Bryant, Linda, I want you to know that I am honored to be a part of the Purpose Factor. Thank you for choosing me as one of your speakers. It's an honor to be here. I have my notebook, so when the rest of you ladies get on, I'm ready to receive as well as pour out. So for who are just meeting me for the first time, I just want to say I'm a master coach. And what I do is I empower you to self-discover your own total life transformation. I do that by providing you with tools that help you to break up with fear, to heal from trauma, and to have authentic confidence from the inside out. I believe that's important in order to have healthy relationships in your life and to be able to walk out your life's purpose, the life of your dreams. So today, I'm excited to be here. I have not done a conference in a while. I love to be face-to-face and up close and personal, but we just gonna rock it out just like this. So I want y'all to just tap in. A lot of times people have challenges around purpose. What is my purpose? How will I know what my purpose is? They think it's this big old aha moment that happens when the simple part of it is that your life purpose is tied to your story. The experiences that you have in your life all amount to what your purpose is going to be. When I tapped into that, I was like, oh, I know what I know. I've been through what I've been through, and I know what I know. So the fear surrounded about what is my purpose? Am I ever going to fulfill my purpose? That went away when I tapped into the fact that I understood that, oh, my purpose is attached to my life story. And the thing that I want to share, these little nuggets, I'm just going to share a couple of little nuggets today. The thing about it is that your story is the battleground, the training ground. I'm going to call it the training ground. It's the training ground for you to operate in your purpose. So when you're going through life and you're on this training field, you don't even know. I didn't know. So I'm going to give you a little bit about my story. The reason why I know that your story is tied to your life experiences is because of mine. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background about me. So by the time I was 15 years old, now back it up a little bit, I'm a military brat, so we travel all over the world. By the time I got back to the United States, Indianapolis, Indiana, my hometown, I was just like a fish out of water. I was lame, I wasn't cool to the kids, right? And so I was naive, and I got involved in some things that led me to this part of the story I want to share with you. By the time I was 15, I had been a victim of rape twice, had one abortion, had a baby, was battling suicide attempts, struggling with low self-esteem, depression, all of the above, anything to do with lack of confidence. How strange is it, or I find it not strange that that whole life experience has me walking in my purpose today, y'all. Y'all can say the same thing. I want you to just take a quick minute to think about the experiences that you've had in your life. Because I coach people every day and they say, I just don't know what my purpose is. Your purpose is tied to your life experience. You know what I've been able to do because I was a rape victim who is now victorious? Because I don't claim victims, but as a teen mom and a rape victim, I was able to create a curriculum because I made it through it. I was able to create a curriculum and show young girls in the school system in high school how to have a better self-worth. How not to be naive. I was naive, y'all. Y'all wouldn't even believe just how naive I was, but I'm able to create curriculums that build the youth self-esteem, their self-worth. I'm able to share my story and connect with those youth that are going through the things that I went through, that have experienced abortions or getting ready to experience abortion or who want to keep their babies. I've been able to have an abortion and keep the baby. And you know what? I've forgiven myself for those things. But you know what? Those life experiences were not in vain. I took that pain and went from pain to purpose, okay? Other things that I've been able to do. One other thing I want to tell you that I need you to tap into is that your purpose is also attached to your pet peeves. Okay, now listen, I had a pet peeve growing up of mean girls. That got under my skin. So I was a skinny little black girl. Looked like I couldn't hurt a fly, y'all, but I was a tomboy and people didn't know that about me. So I get with you if you put me there, but I wasn't gonna start nothing, okay? So because I was a skinny little black girl, mean girls just like to target me because I look like an easy target. I look like I can mop her. That's what I look like. Trick no good. But the thing about it is that I always ran into these girls who wanted to talk, backbite, and be mean. And I just grew up with this thing in my mind where I don't want to be around girls. I always had a small group of friends. I never had a big group of friends. I couldn't stand cliques. That was a pet peeve of mine. I want you to understand that wherever you got a pet peeve and you see a big problem, you have a solution. So I had a solution to that pet peeve. You know what? It's so funny to me that God will have me surrounded by women when I would be the one who would just say, I can't stand women. I don't mess with women. Give me a guy friend any day. I can kick it with a guy and we can have a good time, conversation. He ain't catty. He ain't petty like these women. And guess what? Now I got a whole bunch of girlfriends. I'm coaching. But what I learned is that experience taught me that these women were hurt and broken, like me. I may not have been the person who was pushing and being mean, but because of my hurt and pain, I was experiencing different depression. And so I was pushed back from joining into those groups because I didn't feel worthy of them. And then they were being mean. So the thing about it is that you have the solution to whatever the problem is. So just understand that your purpose is connected to your story and your pet peeve, the problems that you have in life. The other thing I want to share with y'all is that you need to gauge yourself to find out on the road to getting to your purpose, or when you're operating in your purpose, how do you know if you are operating in the right space? I'm gonna tell you this, purpose says that it's bigger than me. And then your ego says it's all about me. So whenever you are, like today, I have a speaking engagement here with the Purpose Factor. People are nervous whenever it's time to speak. This is how I get myself together so I can get on here and speak. I have to balance that pride, that spirit man and that ego. Spirit versus ego. And I say, the ego says, I don't want to get on this call today because I took a hot shower, a hot bath this morning, and it messed up my hair and I got little waves in it. That ain't got nothing to do with purpose. That's ego. I wonder how I'm going to sound. Am I going to say the right words? Y'all know I get all tied up and tongue-tied with my words. I can't say words right. That's ego. That ain't got nothing to do with purpose. Purpose says, I'm here to deliver whatever word God gave for me to give to the people. And if I get my words tied up and tangled up, I'm not even gonna know, because my main focus is to deliver a word to the people. So I just want y'all just to keep in mind that your story your purpose is tied to your story and your pet peeves, and that your purpose says that it's bigger than me, and your ego says that it's all about me. So never forget that. This is Coach Chandy Ray, and I love to connect with y'all. Follow me on IG at Coach Chandy Ray.
All right. Thank you, Shandy. That was beautiful. And I want y'all to just pay attention to something. She dropped a lot of nuggets. One of the things that I love that you said, or that she said, was inside out confidence, right? So not the one that just, okay, look at Shandy. Nobody gonna deny that this woman is gorgeous, right? Yeah. But what we are seeing, it's not just that she has the perfect skin and perfect haircut, but we're seeing her inner glow, because what she said was, confidence comes from the inside out. We start on the inside, and what we do on the inside, the work we do on the inside reflects on the outside. And if you are living in your purpose, you gotta work from the inside. There ain't no way you're gonna do it from the outside in. It just doesn't work like that. And I wanted to say something and shout out to you for this, Shandy. And this is so important for those of us who walk around with brown skin, is that it is so important not to make our story our life. Okay, I want to say this again. What I heard Shandy say was her life purpose was tied to her story. And I'm going to add to this, our life purpose, we live our life purpose not just because of our story, but in spite of it. In spite of all the things that she went through, in spite of all the things that were against her, she said, that is not my story. It doesn't end here. There's a next chapter, please. And thank you so much for sharing. If y'all got some love from Shandy, let me put it in the chat. Say yes, girl, yes. All right. And as we move forward, I definitely want to see y'all being active in the chats. Let the people, let the speakers know what you are walking away with. And make sure you reach out to Shandy, because the same way that she was able to dig deep and create the life that she's created for herself, now she's able to do that for others. So definitely reach out to her and see how she can help you do the same for yourself. All right. Next we have coming up, we have Denisha Blake. And I love this because Denisha is a transformational health and wellness coach, and she's specifically plant-based. And this is super duper important. My family is also plant-based. We're actually vegan. And this is so important, especially during the time of COVID. So let's sit back and listen to this wisdom. You up next, Denisha, look at me in the names.
That's right, girl. You do it. That's perfect. It's Denisha Blake. Hey, y'all. Good to see all your beautiful faces. Thank you so much for having me today. Again, as my name is Denisha Blake. I'm an entrepreneur, health coach, and a plant-based vegan chef. And today I want to talk to you about self-mastery as your purpose. Okay. So what is self-mastery, right? So self-mastery is having a vision for yourself and harnessing the will for your vision, right? It's a commitment to never-ending improvement, and it's a process of learning who and what you truly are, okay? So what are some areas that we should master collectively, right? I want to talk about our body and how it relates to food. I want to talk about mastering our mind and our thoughts, and I want to talk about mastering our stress levels. So those are 3 areas in the community that are harming us, okay? So why do we eat? Can somebody tell me what the purpose of eating is?
Nourishment.
I'm hungry.
Why do we eat? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we eat to obtain the energy. We eat to obtain the energy we need to support our everyday activities and promote our survival. But we also eat to give our body the necessary nutrients, the minerals, the water, the fat, the carbohydrates that we need to sustain itself, right? So every morsel of food that we put in our body affects our health. But the truth is, many of us are never taught how food affects the body long-term or short-term, right? We grew up eating what our parents ate what their parents ate, and so forth and so on. But keep in mind that the food of today is made in manufacturing plants. There's chemicals in our food. There's toxic ingredients in our food that's harming our body. And food education is not taught in our schools anymore, right? So we never really think about how the food affects us. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, what's causing the sickness in the body. My grandmother, my aunt, and my mother all had breast cancer. So I realized early on that it was something in the food along with stress that was causing that in their bodies, okay? So sugar is a drug. I want you to know that. And there's sugar in everything. Everything that you eat has sugar in it. If you look at the ingredients in the back of that, it has sugar in it. Gluten, caffeine, dairy, meat with antibiotics and hormones, processed foods, soda. These things are toxic to the body, right? And we've got to keep that in mind when we're eating things. We got to be mindful. What am I eating? How is it affecting my body? The foods along the diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, obesity, heart disease. Sickness is a big business, right? They're not going to tell you about how the food is relating to that. It's a big business. They don't care. They just want you to have the pharmaceuticals, the drugs, so that you could keep sustaining that business, which is sickness, okay? It begins with reprogramming how we think about food and our health, okay? It begins by paying attention to your belief system around food. Why do you eat the foods that you eat? I want you to begin connecting the dots between the food and how you feel. I want you to become accountable and mindful for your health outcomes, right? I want you to begin watching your habits around what you're eating. Do you have an emotional attachment to certain foods? Do the foods that you eat have memory attached to it? Does it make you feel a certain kind of way? Begin processing and really thinking about those things. I want you to begin monitoring how you feel when you're eating. Are you sad, frustrated, hurt, angry? What emotions are harboring while you're eating? Does the food make you feel better or worse? I want you to begin. That's how you're going to begin becoming the master of your body, right? You got to be mindful, paying attention. Your body is like a machine. It can heal itself. I promise you it can. The body communicates without you having to do anything, right? Your heart beats on its own. The blood pumps through your veins on its own. You don't have to do anything. You are powerful, right? But eating the wrong foods along with stress, lack of exercise, dehydration, it leads to the body's deterioration. However, eating fruits and vegetables, drinking more water, practicing positive thinking, and exercising leads to a life of wellness and well-being. Now, moving on to the master of your thoughts. Your mind is powerful, and so is your mental health, right? So it's imperative that you begin programming your mind with substance. Pay attention to what you're thinking about. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? I want you to begin to choose your thoughts wisely and pay attention to what you're thinking about. Because when you watch your thoughts, they become your words. When you watch your words, they become your actions. When you watch your actions, they become your habits. When you watch your habits, they become your character. When you watch your character, it becomes your destiny. That's by a gentleman by the name of Frank Outlaw. Okay, now I want to jump right into managing stress. How many of you breathe or are mindful of your breath? Do you pay attention to if you're breathing or not? Do you feel that your shoulders sometimes are up on your ears because you're stressed, right? And so when you practice your breath, just take a deep breath in. I want everybody to just take a deep breath in. If you do that 5 to 10 times, you will eat 10 minutes out of your day just to breathe. Promise you, you feel better. Sometimes you just need to give yourself a self-massage. Take your own hand and massage your shoulders. Massage yourself, right? Because you've got to get that energy moving through the body. If you have a partner, let your partner massage you. Massage your partner. You guys do it for each other, or get a professional massage. You could take a hot lavender bath. The lavender slows down the nervous system and it reduces anxiety and it lifts your mood and it relaxes you, okay? You could drink some chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is known for relaxing and soothing the body as well. And stretching. It's very important that you begin stretching your body because it helps to relieve muscles and tension and all those things in the body, okay? I'm trying to go fast because I want to get this out to y'all today. You can also manage your stress by incorporating some sort of exercise into your daily routine. Quick 15 minutes hiking. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Something that you can just get your body moving. Okay. And last but not least, keeping a positive attitude. Be grateful. Grateful is key. When you're grateful for what shows up in your life, there's a lesson to learn in everything, right? Smile at somebody you don't know. Smile. Give a hug to somebody that needs it. We all need a hug right now. Pray for somebody. And send love to everyone else, okay? I send you all peace, love, and light, and have a blessed day, everybody. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you. That was beautiful. I think there were so many great things that I pulled from that, but I think one of the things that's so important is looking at how pragmatic it can be when it comes to eating, right? Making the choice to make better choices and just being pragmatic about it. That's not adding any emotion to it, just doing it because it's good for the inside out. And if we're going to be running around in these streets, right, in these COVID streets and living our life, it is important to make sure we nurture our body. If we have a purpose, we're not going to be able to live out that purpose unless we're taking care of ourselves. Again, focusing on the nutrition from the inside out. And I want to say especially thank you about that as it relates to our health, right? And breaking the things that maybe the generations before us did. Because our loved ones had diabetes or because they had high blood pressure doesn't mean we have to continue that story. So you all reach out. Please, by all means, reach out to her and let her know that you maybe want to sit with her or have a conversation with her. You want to work with her on how to take care of yourself from the inside out. It is paramount for any woman who's showing up to be on purpose. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And next, we do have a vendor, Cindy Young, who happens to be the daughter of Linda. She is the owner of Simply Bodied, which specializes in artistic and creative braiding, protective styles of wigs, and urban clothing. She is here to share a little bit about what she does, so listen in.
Hi everybody, how are you all doing? I just you guys know that I appreciate what everyone is doing and who's gone so far. Good job. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Sydney, and I am the daughter of Linda Bryant. I am the creator of Simply Bodied SB, which is also the initials of my name, Sydney Brianna. I specialize in braids, in wigs, and just something, to help women feel a little more confident, and also just to have fun. I love what I do, and I just want to help others feel beautiful. So hopefully I get to work with some of you in the future, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Sydney. I love young entrepreneurs. I just do. It's the way to go. So definitely make sure you look at her. I mean, shop with her first before you go to Amazon. I mean, she did say she has some cute clothes. So make sure y'all go in there and see what she has to offer us, okay? Up next, we have Valerie C. Thompson in the house. So Valerie is who Linda referred to earlier when she mentioned the event she attended in August. Valerie, I feel like I can just speak from the heart about her. Can I just do that? Because I do have a bio, but I'm just gonna go from the heart. Valerie is my girl. I feel like she and I have known each other, I was gonna say 20 years, but I think it's been like 30 something. And let me tell you, there is more secrets between us than the CIA, and ain't nobody talking. We ain't telling no secrets. But she's here to show us what Valerie is really good. She's good at a lot of things, but what she lives her life on, the principle of living your truth, claiming your truth, showing up for yourself authentically all the time in every situation. She has a heart for women who have battled through domestic violence, whether that was
It was terrible.
Somebody put yourself on mute, whether that was the physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever that abuse is. If you've ever sat across or been in the circle of or been in the life of someone who is narcissistic, Valerie is your girl to show you how to pick up those pieces and heal from the inside out so you can live your life in your own truth. Valerie, take it away, girl.
Thank you. And God bless you all. I'm so happy to be here as I'm listening to everybody pour out. Like, I'm so full right now. It's so much good stuff going out. So thank you, Larissa. I love you. Thank you, Linda, the hostess with the mostest. Thank you both. I know everybody's feeling the energy here is so awesome and amazing to be here on this Saturday morning. So as you were talking, and I was like, own your truth. But guess what? God didn't give me nothing about own your truth today. He gave me something about faith. So it's all good. Faith. That's what I'm focusing on, because as we move in purpose, on purpose for God's huge purpose, we have to have faith. So Hebrews 11:1, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not yet see. And look, let me slow down because I want to say this. I am Valerie C. Thompson. I'm called to create, called to encourage, inspire, and uplift. And I am the co-founder or the CEO of Own Your Truth Coaching, wherein I do help women dismantle the lies that have been passed down from generations and help them own their truth so that they can walk in purpose, on purpose for God's huge purpose. I am very excited today, as I'm sure you can see. So back to faith. Hebrews 11:1, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not yet see. When we think of the word faith, and when we define faith, it is defined as complete trust. So you have to have complete trust and confidence in someone or something. So when I was thinking about this word, I immediately thought about my grandchildren. I have 2 grandchildren who are very rambunctious. Brian and Brielle, 1.5. They have faith. When we think about children who have not been harmed, children who have been cared for in a healthy environment, they have mad faith. So I'm thinking about my children. They are my grandchildren. They have so much faith when they are running down the hall, right, and might slam into a wall. They have faith that they're not going to be hurt. When they are playing, jumping off the couch, and I'm just saying because that's what they do, they have faith that they won't be injured. when they take their hands and strike me, because that's what they do, I correct them, but they have faith that I won't hit them back. Mad faith. They have faith in their mother. They have faith in me. They have faith that we will feed them, that they will be provided for. They're not questioning it. So when it comes to purpose, we doubt. When God gives us a vision, when God gives us an idea, when God gives us something, we question it because we think, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough. And it's usually based on the things that we've been through. It's usually based on our experiences. So right now, like I said earlier, I'm excited. I'm looking back at my notes because I don't want to jump over nothing, but I want to make sure I'm covering everything that God gave me to cover. Faith. Faith is what is needed to walk in purpose, on purpose for God's huge purpose. So as Linda was talking about, and even I believe Larissa mentioned it, talking about the woman and the gifts, what I did earlier, or organized it, God gave it to me earlier this year. God gave me the vision in 2019. And when I tell you I was procrastinating because I was like, what? I don't know how to do this. You want me to do what? And let me tell you, the anxious feeling came inside. And I was like, you want me to do what? But what God showed me was, Valerie, you have already been doing this. See, I had forgotten about some of the get-togethers I've had with other women, such as one of my friends, Chanel, she's on the call, love you. We stick together. So we would come together as women in our 20s, right? And do things and be positive about it. So God told me, you were already doing this, but now I'm taking you on another level. I'm taking you to a larger scale. The masses thing God showed me, you were already walking in entrepreneur shoes. I was what? Because I used to do hedge, and I was getting paid for it, right? Like my beautiful sister here, Sydney. So I was already walking in entrepreneurship, but didn't even know it because no one had ever told me that. So the vision that God gives you for purpose, it's something usually that you're good at and something that you were already doing in the first place, right? But I believe when things happen in our lives, we kind of get off track and we forget what God has given us to share with the world, right? Our gifts and our talents. So when God gave me that vision for the women and the gifts, it was, I wanted to, and I seen it spiritually. I wanted to have a platform just like Linda's doing right here, hosting women. And I wanted women to talk about how they show up in the world and what they share. And I wanted women to talk about their entrepreneurship journey. So again, God placed a specific woman on my heart. I reached out to these women and all of the women said yes. And before I knew it, I was hooked up with somebody who was able to make a flyer, and things just came together. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna keep walking. This feels good. I'm gonna keep walking. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm gonna keep walking. So that's purpose, and that's moving with faith. We have to be obedient. When I tell you, when you're obedient, when God gives you something and you may not understand how it's all gonna come together, but you'll say, okay, I'm gonna do it. It comes together because God puts people in your path. God opens up resources. I always say resources come from the north, the south, the east, and the west. I don't know how they're gonna get here, Lord, but you know. Things just come together and it's good and you know it's right. Again, moving in purpose, on purpose for God's huge purpose. And I also believe when God gives us something, we have to say yes. And let me tell you why. I don't have this specific scripture, but in the Bible, you know, it's one body made up of many parts. So let's just say God gave me the vision and I said, you ain't talking to me. I'm not getting ready to do that. Let's just say that, right? Well, maybe I'd be blocking somebody else's blessing or somebody else's call to move, to do something in life, meaning one body, many parts. So I'm connected to Linda. I'm connected to Larissa. I'm connected to Chanel. I'm connected to every woman on this call, Shandy, every person on this call. We're all connected. And there's somebody on this call today that's like, wow, Linda's doing this. So guess what? I know, Linda, and now I'm getting ready to move forward and do the things that God has called me to do. Because before I was a little nervous, I was a little shaky. Okay, so we're all connected. It's for a reason. Everything is in purpose, on purpose, for God's huge purpose. Keep that in mind. Let me wrap it up here because I could probably talk to the end. It's like a snowball effect. So, so what I want you all to know is faith. When you walk in faith, again, Hebrews 11:1, faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you do not yet see. When you walk in faith, faith will cause you to quit your 9 to 5 because it is no longer serving you. Hello, lights. Faith will cause you to move from comfortable to uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable, but it's okay. Faith will call you to step from the known into the unknown because you're kind of blind, but guess what? It's good because you know God is there. God is our provider, Jehovah Jireh, so he will never leave us nor forsake us, so keep walking. Faith will cause you to say, God, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know you're going to do something. You're about to blow my mind. Faith is causing us, it'll call us to say, you know what? I'm open to wisdom. I'm open to knowledge to move forward in this entrepreneurship thing because it's part of my purpose. And I know that you're going to open up multiple streams of income because I don't know, but you know. And I'm saying yes to your way and yes to your will because your ways and your thoughts are always greater than mine, right? So I want you to understand that the title of this, The Purpose Factor, also said a little bit about fear. So I didn't focus on fear because I was intentional about that. I don't want you to focus ever on fear because remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. Feel the fear, which you will, but feel it and do it anyway. We're all going to be a little anxious, but I believe Shandy said it earlier, you might feel something, but you know that that's God, like that's part of your purpose because the vision is usually bigger than what you could ever imagine, right? It's gonna make you be like, can I do that? Feel the fear and do it anyway, but don't focus on it because it's false evidence appearing real. Amen. So I think that's my time. I'm really not sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut up in a minute. So God bless you all. You can follow me on Facebook at Valerie C. Thompson. You can connect with me on Instagram at Own Your Truth, Valerie Thompson. You can go to my website and subscribe to the blog at www.ValerieCThompson. I look forward to connecting with you all. Oh, one more thing, I do have a podcast that I totally forgot about. So you can follow me there at Own Your Truth, Valerie Thompson as well. God bless you all. Stay encouraged, stay pumped up, keep moving in faith. And remember, whatever you have gone through, it is part of your purpose. God has equipped you to bless the masses. Don't forget it. Love you. Thank you.
All right, Valerie, thank you so much. Thank you for staying in alignment by being true to who you are, owning your truth by saying, look, today it's all about faith. That's what's on my heart. And I'm going to tell you, that's important as you move forward in your purpose, because oftentimes, look, for the majority of us, we grew up going to elementary school, junior high school, and then college or whatever, and then working. We didn't have a whole lot of time to exercise in the unknown. Everything was laid out for us. But when we're really being intentional about moving forward in our purpose, it does require faith. It requires us saying yes when everything and sometimes everyone around us is saying, hell no, right? And that's when we say, no, I got faith, so I'm saying hell yes. And faith will teach you when you're working on your purpose. Everything is either a hell no or a hell yes. And when you have faith, we are here to say hell yes. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much for sharing. And next we have Erica. I'm super looking forward to hearing about what you're sharing, because I feel like what she's going to be touching upon is something that we can all relate to. Those times in life when we were feeling so low or feeling so blue, and then knowing that there's someone else who's been through that who can show us our way out. Erica is the founder of a nonprofit called the Detour Program, and the Detour Program focuses on helping, it's for anti-bullying and suicide. And I that is a close place to my heart. I lost my brother to suicide 4 years ago. And so I know that anyone who's on this planet who wants to shed some light on those of us who are broken and hurt and hurting, they're walking around here as angels. So thank you so much. Just give her full attention. Also, one more thing, I have noticed that many of you have been coming back on video. Thank you. And for those of you who are not, please consider showing us your lovely faces. You are already beautiful. You woke up beautiful. You went to bed last night beautiful. You are a whole, perfect, and complete. And that's all of us are going to see anyway. Okay. Go ahead, Erica.
Awesome. So good afternoon, everyone. As it said, my name is Erica Giss, and I'm the CEO, founder of the Detour Program, Inc. I'm also a master life coach, and I work with a lot of children and families, as she stated, in the area of suicide prevention and anti-bullying and bullying prevention services. And just to give you a little bit about me and what I'm going to speak about today is basically the power of perspective. So just to give a small analogy, for me, when I was about, I would say 21 years old, I had a conversation with a lady. She was an old counselor of mine from school. And she asked me, she said, I always wanted to ask you because I feel like you had everything, but it always seemed that something was bothering you. And she said, I want to ask you, why was that? And so even though I was 21 and old enough to say whatever it was that came to my mind, I still struggled at that moment with just owning my truth. And so I had to think about, how can I explain this to her? And so I'm explaining it to you guys as I explained it to her. Imagine going over to somebody's house, somebody you trust, somebody, you were comfortable enough with going to their house. And they had a specific dish prepared. You could smell it. It smelled so good. And you say, hey, can I have some of that? Or that's really nice. That looks good. Can I have a bite? And they said, yeah, you can have a bite. You can take the whole thing home. But I made that, but I wouldn't eat that. And, you may laugh it off like you silly. Maybe you trying to watch your weight or something like that. But as you begin to cut into your piece and take a piece of it, if the person that created it kind of starts to look at you a little funny, like, you may think twice, because it's like, if the person that created this or made this dish won't eat it, why will I eat it? And so for me, growing up with my grandparents, I had a very, very good life. I had everything that I could ask for. However, they were raising me because my parents at the time were not able to. So I had a third grade teacher ask me in front of the class one time. She said, why am I calling your grandmother? Why can't I call your mother? Does your mother not want you? Mm. And so when you think down to the power of perspective, being in just the third grade, I didn't even have perspective yet. All that I knew was what was in front of me. And I had everything that I could ask for. I never even realized at that point that I was missing anything. And in that very moment, my perception changed. So as the kids would tease me, that's why your mother don't want you. When I began to look in the mirror, what I began to see was everybody else's perspective, everybody else's thoughts of me, how my hair was so full, how my face was so fat, how, my mother is whatever, but she didn't want me. And then there was those people who knew my mother who felt like, well, you're going to be like her. So when I began to look in the mirror, all I began to see is everyone else's thoughts. So the only perspective I had of myself were the perspectives of other people that I wore. And so today I've learned that a story is only as powerful as the perspective that it's told in. So I began to take control and start telling my own story. So today, as I tell my story to say, my parents were once defeated by addiction, but they overcame it, right? And I'm a product of overcomers. And today I work in schools all over the nation. I'm a master life coach, and I coach other parents and children just because somebody else doesn't see your worth does not mean you don't have it. I coach people to know that it's inside of you. It's not on you. So they may look at you and say, oh, you you're overweight, your hair's big, you don't have makeup on, your face not put together, you know, you don't have your Delta pearls on, you know, you're not qualified. And so I now coach people to know that the qualifications are not on you, it's inside of you, it's in you. And so, if I could leave you just with anything today, is just to know that your purpose is inside of you. You were created with that purpose. Whether the people that were given to you or surround you see it or not, you still have it. So I encourage you just to be careful of the circle that you keep, the people that you're surrounded around. Surround yourself around people that see your purpose, that see the beauty in you, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So in order for someone to know that you are powerful and you are purposeful, they have to have first identified their own purpose. And so again, my name is Erica Giss. Again, I'm the founder of the Detour Program, Inc. We're on Instagram under Self Love is Love. You can find me on Facebook directly under Erica Giss. And I've enjoyed you all, and thank you so much, and continue to walk in your purpose.
Wow, thank you so much, Erica. Thank you. I think on so many levels of that, we can all appreciate to that some level, or relate to that on some level. I wanted to say really quickly, because I didn't say it last time, if what Valerie shared today, make sure you definitely go and check her out on social media, check out her podcast and her books. She shared her links, but Linda is also putting the links and websites for everyone who's speaking today. So go back through the chats and make sure you get that, connect with her. Same goes for Erica. Erica, thank you so much for sharing so beautifully. You know, again, you show us an example of what it's like to not become your story, but to become who you want to be in spite of your story. One of the things that you said that really stuck out to me is that you're qualified. The inside of who we are already qualifies us for life. Listen, everyone here on this planet deserves to be here. Everyone here on this planet is qualified to lead a life in purpose. We're all qualified. I often tell my children, you cannot find greatness outside of you. You cannot step into greatness, because greatness is already inside of you. You can only walk away from it. Thank you for the reminder, Erica, that we are already qualified. My God, who needed to hear that? If you needed to hear that today, say, I needed to hear that. Put that in the chat. Say, I need to hear it. I need to hear it. Okay, so next what we have Margie Rubio. She is the CEO and founder of Emotional Intelligence for Youth, for urban youth. She specializes in sharing proactive techniques to address several forms of bullying, and mostly emotional intelligence, because how many of us grown folks out here in these streets would have loved to even know what that meant when we were 15 and 16, okay? My God, how many would have loved if our parents knew what that meant? I'm just saying. So anyway, we have Margie in the house, and she's about to share some wisdom and some love. It's all on you, Margie. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you sound perfect.
I lost connection. I just want to pay homage to every woman who just spoke before me. I am truly inspired, rejuvenated, ready to reacclimate myself again and realign myself for my purpose. Wow, that was just some very, very, very powerful stuff. I'm taking really good notes. However, I am Margie Rubio. I'm an Oakland native, and I have a long history of trauma. I'll just fast forward. My passion now, God gave me a clear vision that my passion was to work with the youth because of the issues that I was having with my son. And I'm raising him, as the Bible tells me, to train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's older, he will not turn from it. And that was what he was experiencing in school, and was opposite to what I'm teaching in my household. So we had a lot of issues with my son being bullied, being teased. But after becoming and learning more about emotional intelligence, I figured it was deeper, and bullying stems from a deeper root of pain and trauma. So after digging into this platform, I realized that it's the key. our children they need to be shown how to operate through the lens of emotional intelligence. Every bully they're just experiencing a great sense of trauma and pain, and they think we can notice that. So my goal is to not really attack the bully, but to cultivate healthy relationships with them, and to
Oh, Margie, we lost you there for a minute. We lost you. Maybe relocate yourself, maybe?
again from this background. It's not ironic that God keep leading me and giving me working capacities to deal with youth that are surrounded by trauma. So it's just all aligning for me, and I'm feeling a sense of fear on all levels. But I'm gonna do what you guys said. I'm gonna feel the fear, and I'm gonna feel it and move past it, because I understand that it's God using me and stretching me. I recently wrote a book, Bliss of Afflictions, Finding Joy After My Pain, through putting myself through therapy. That experience alone was very, very, I still had to step out on faith to even do that, because I didn't even realize I really needed that until after learning more about myself and my personality temperament. So I started writing the book just as many of you are already therapists, and they will tell you, like, journal and write things. So after I started writing, my therapist was like, you may want to share your story. I'm sure your story is not unique to you. So that in that experience came another level of, I know we're not focusing on fear, but I did have a level of fear. And it was for me because I had to be very transparent with myself and honest, because I'm really looking to become whole and to heal. So I wrote that book, and a lot of things in the book my family didn't even know about me, and they didn't know because I was not forced to drop out of school in junior high. But my mother worked 2 jobs and was never ever home, because she worked graveyard and a regular shift. She came home to probably nap and was gone. And my dad was addicted to drugs. So I really basically raised myself seven from the 7th grade. And I didn't realize that being quote unquote fast or living in the hood, I'm sorry.
Okay, looks like Margie might be frozen. We'll give her a couple more minutes, okay, to see if she can hop back on.
About my story and my why, and it's all because I feel like since God spared my life through the car accidents, I made it through the shootouts. I didn't when I went to jail, I wasn't there for many years. He brought me back, and I in a way to where I'm able to share and help, for one, my own son, and my own members of my family, because the Bible speaks that charity starts at home. So I'm really trying to um, not let what God did for me to be in vain, and to share and uplift other young people. They don't have to be involved in gangs. I was involved in all of that. And um, I think, well, I know I'm clear that my purpose is just to share, and to share with other young people who are angry because their clothes are dirty. They may be eating beans and rice for a week like I did, or, maybe sometimes going to a friend's house just because they don't have food, and hanging over late just so they can get meals. Like, it's okay. Um, Letting them know that there are people here who will help move you and inspire you, and you may be a victim of that circumstance, but you are not. That is not your you don't have to stay there. You don't have to become angry because of that. You don't have to hurt other people because of that. So I'm happy to be here just to learn. As I mentioned with Linda, I didn't really know what direction, like, to even speak on today. I remain a student at all times. So I was really, really looking to learn from you guys, which I've done. And the goal of one of what I believe is part of my purpose is to help them build like a buddy system. You know, buddy stands for brave, unique, determined, driven youth. I figure if we can get all of our youth to understand that, again, we don't see your pain, we understand it, and it's not, you're not wearing it like the shirt on your back, and get them to cultivate healthy relationships is a part of my purpose. And I take honor, and I don't take it for granted. The Bible also speaks to us, be careful not to offend our young ones. So I'm very careful to what I do around young people, how I speak in front of them, how I represent myself. And from a humanistic approach, not because I come from somewhere. So I can't ignore that I sold drugs and sold heroin and caught a case at 15. And then they found out I was a truant because I hadn't been in school since the 7th grade. And so I share with them and let them know that if they have experienced what I've experienced, then this is what God did for me. And it wasn't until motherhood where I went back to school. I got degrees, and the degrees were great, but it was more about the resilience, pushing through the pain. It was more about how each level I surprised myself that I could even write. I didn't even, because no one, as a youth, no one checked on me to do homework. No one held me accountable for anything. So I'm happy to be used in this area, and I'm still growing and learning. So I'm happy to just share with who I am. And like I said, I remain a student, and my goal is to teach our young, or share with our young people how they can use their move through life through an emotional intelligent lens, and just help push each one, reach one, teach one. That's my thing. Thank you, ladies. I feel honored. I feel honored to even be on the same platform with you all today.
All right, I hope you can see. I know she was having some challenges with her audio, but I hope you can see everybody clapping for you. That was beautiful. And I feel like she took a page from Shandi's book and was like, okay, let me go out here and be my own hero, right? Because no one told her, no one gave her the tracks to run on, so she laid them out herself. She, not only did she lay them out herself, she built those tracks, she laid them out, she ran the tracks, and she went back to show other people how they don't have to go on the same road that she went on. And I tip my hat to you, and I rub my bald head to you too, because that's a big deal. Because so much of the trauma that we deal with as adults stems from what we dealt with as a child. We heard Denise say earlier that those health disparities that we see, so many of them start up as younger, and they create trauma in our body. Well, this is beautiful how you helped us to see the trauma that's created by the life choices, sometimes the ones that we didn't even make, sometimes by the life choices that came before us. And you took that circumstance and you decided not to be a victim. You decided to pull yourself up, and now you're showing others how to do the same. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with our youth. Thank them for showing them what's possible. Thank you for reminding them that they're great. Thank you for showing them that if they fall, they too can get up. Thank you. So next what we have another vendor in the house. Aaliyah, are you here, Aaliyah? We have Aaliyah. She's the owner of AK Hair Care, and she specializes in natural hair and facial care treatments. It's all on you, Aaliyah.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Erskine, and I am the owner of AK Hair Care. So a little about me. I'm a sophomore at the illustrious Spelman College, the #1 HBCU in the country. And at Spelman, I major in political science and I minor in international studies. So although my academic and my career goals are in politics and in diplomacy, I also have a passion for natural hair care. So the title of this event is called The Purpose Factor. And I believe that my passion for natural hair care is a driving force of my own personal purpose factor. Wearing my hair in its natural state, it gives me a sense of pride and a sense of uniqueness that I only get through rocking my crown of natural curls. However, there is unfortunately a history of Black women not feeling beautiful when wearing their natural hair. And this reality is rooted in internalized racism, colorism, and texturism. So hair is an essential aspect of the Black community. I'm sure we can all attest to this. We wear our hair in many different styles as a method of personal expression to showcase the versatility and beauty that is Black hair. And for the majority of my life, I've worn my hair in its natural state or in protective hairstyles. But along with that, I have had my own experiences with people telling me that they liked my hair better when it was straightened, or they implied that my natural hair was not as beautiful. I believe that every Black woman can recount a time when they have felt discrimination toward their natural hair because of the Eurocentric values that are so strongly upheld in society. Let me know in the chat if anyone can agree with me if they felt that towards wearing their natural hair. And it has gotten so bad to the point where the Crown Act has had to be implemented. Does anyone know what the Crown Act is? Okay, I see some people nodding their heads. So if you may or may not know, the Crown Act was created in 2019 to ensure protection against discrimination based on race-based hairstyles by extending statutory protection to hair texture and protective styles in the workplace and in public schools. So it has gotten so bad to the point where a law has had to be enacted so that Black women don't feel discriminated against their hair and the way that they wear their hair in the workplace and at school. So there are also examples of women refusing to wear their natural hair at all. And although a woman absolutely has the autonomy to choose how to wear her hair however she wants, wearing your hair natural should not be taboo. And society often tells Black women that their hair is something that needs to be fixed or something that needs to be tamed. And I started my company, AK Hair Care, because I want to encourage the fact that our hair is beautiful in its natural state and nothing about our hair needs to be altered or changed in order to validate that fact. And as a young entrepreneur, I am eager to sell products that appeal to naturalistas such as myself, or also people who just enjoy using natural products on their hair for hydration and for hair growth. And I have a hair product that is a cream to oil mixture that moisturizes the hair and also stimulates hair growth. And I also plan on extending my product range to gels, creams, and even body care. So I'm a firm believer that one way to feel good on the inside is to look good on the outside. And the mission of AK Hair Care is to provide all of my clients with the opportunity to look and feel their best through natural hair products. So thank you all for your time, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to share a little bit about my company. Thank you.
Yay, shout out to Aaliyah. Thank you so much, Spellman. I also wanted to say, I didn't add this piece, that she is also the niece of Linda, our amazing gatherer of this Saturday morning. And the cool thing, I'm thinking, entrepreneurship must run through your blood, because, and whatever the case is, Linda started this off, right? She showed them how to show up for yourself. And that's the power of it, right? You show other people how to show up for themselves by showing up for yourself first. Thank you so much, Aaliyah, for reminding us how beautiful our crowns are, for reminding us that we do have a place here as well as Black women rocking our natural crown. And of course, I'm sure you would agree, regardless of how we rock our crown, whether it's relaxed, natural, or ball like me, we still deserve a place. And this is being able to have that option to show up the way we feel most comfortable. And thank you. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you for flexing your entrepreneurship muscles. Next, we have someone here. Well, she technically isn't here with us, but we have a video of someone excuse me, have a video of someone, Paula Daniels, that Linda's going to play for us in a couple of moments. She's probably queuing it up right now. But Paula is a native of the Bay Area, and she is someone who's passionate on her heart to be able to share this to you via video. She wasn't able to make it today, but she's someone that took a situation that wasn't comfortable and flipped it. And now she's showing how it can work for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Linda, to share the video.
Hello, ladies. Hello, everyone. I am honored to be here speaking amongst all of you amazing women. I apologize that I am not here in person, but I definitely wanted to participate. So here I am through video. And I also wanted to thank Linda for this opportunity for my very first speaking engagement. I am nervous, so you guys just bear with me. My name is Paula, and I am excited to be here and just wanted to share with you guys my story of how I was able to find my purpose, which is to help people with mental self-care through getting it off their chest. So let me tell you my story. But it starts back in 2019, back when we all were happy and living good lives and we didn't have to worry about wearing masks and social distancing. So 2019, I was living my best life, you know. I'm from the Bay Area, and if you guys are from the Bay Area, you're familiar with the radio station KBLX. Yes, so I won like 9 tickets to concerts. I went to 6 concerts, 4 weddings. I went to Miami for a week. I mean, I was living my best life in 2019. I had my paratransit job that I loved. I had my clients, my job. I had a 2-hour split every day. I was comfortable. You guys, were you all comfortable in 2019? I was comfortable in 2019 until March 2020. And everything just stopped. And guess what? I wasn't comfortable anymore. I didn't have anything to do. I wasn't working. I was just sitting around doing nothing. And then you start to think, well, what am I here? I mean, I know I'm here for more than just going to work every day. And then once that stops, it's like, well, really, what is my purpose? And so one night in September, I was asleep and I got a little shove. And I'm like, you know, what's going on? I'm thinking, you know, I just roll over, I shake it off. And then, you know, I feel it again. And so this time I sit up and I hear a voice. I hear something tell me, I want you to ask people to get it off your chest. I sleep with the TV on, so of course that must have been the TV. So I shook it off and I lay back down, you know, like, okay, let me go back to sleep. This time I was shook again. And this time I really had to sit up because like now I'm like really concerned. And I heard the voice clear as day again say, I want you to ask people to get it off their chest. And so I had to just sit there for a moment. I'm like, okay. As I looked around for who was talking to me, I said, okay. And so I sat for a minute and then I laid down and all of these thoughts were just running through my head, you know. It was telling me, okay, I want you to get the shirts. I want you to make a logo. I want you to go out and I want you to talk to people. All of this is going through my head. So I couldn't even go back to sleep. I'm just constantly thinking about what I was just told. And so the next morning, I called my confidant and friend, Valerie Thompson, who will be speaking later on, amazing woman of God. And I told her what happened. And she told me that was the Holy Spirit speaking to me and that I needed to do something about it. But at that point, I was still living in fear. So I was not really ready to receive it. But when I shared with her that the Holy Spirit had given me this a long time ago, when I was comfortable and living in fear, you know. And so what really jolted me into action is when she said, well, you know, when God gives you something and you don't use it, he will give it to somebody else. And that just like hit me like a ton of bricks, because as I was laying there, he was showing me everything that it could be, everything that it will be. And so that's when I took action. I just immediately went out. I bought camera equipment because that's what the Holy Spirit told me to do. And he just said, ask people to get it off their chest. And so that's what I've been doing. And then I'm like, well, maybe this is my purpose. Have I found my purpose? Is this my purpose? It's to help people with mental self-care. You know, we all have things that we hold on to, we get angry, or we just have things on our mind that we would like to just share, but sometimes we can't just say it to our friends or family, you know, but we do need to get these things released. And so that is the purpose of Get It Off Your Chest. It's just to release those things that you've been holding in, that you really feel like you wanna be heard. It's a venue for people to be heard. So I started my Instagram page, which is Get It Off Your Chest #8. Go ahead and check me out. I haven't been as active lately because, like I said, I've started my new journey with FedEx. So I've been busy, but I just wanted to definitely participate and encourage anyone to, if you feel like you have something that you want to do or you need to do, or it's in you to do it, don't let fear stand in your way. Let me be an example, because I am one of the scariest persons out there. Well, not anymore. I used to be. I no longer live in fear. I am now walking on my purpose, walking in purpose, because I listen to the Holy Spirit, and I will not allow fear to stop me from helping people get it off their chest or helping someone feel better in any form or fashion that I can help. And I just want to thank you guys for listening to my story. And I hope it touched anyone in the smallest amount of way. Thank you for listening, ladies. Thank you.
All right. Now that was powerful. I feel like, you know, when we are in our purpose and when we're committed our purpose, committed to walking and living our purpose, it wakes us up at night. One of the things that Paula said was she couldn't shake it. She knew that this was something she had to do. She had to be about helping people to mentally be able to shake the shackles. Like, what is it that you want to get off your chest? What is it that you need to get out there into the world? And oftentimes when we make those steps, it turns into something even more glorious. Even the fact that she couldn't be with us physically today, it was so important for her to remind us that it's important to stay in alignment to living your purpose. That she recorded a video. So I'm saying to us, if she made that commitment, we can make a commitment. We can commit to showing up here today. We can make the commitment to walk in our purpose as well. What we're going to do right now, ladies, and I think we do have a few gentlemen on the call, on the Zoom. What we're going to do right now, we're going to open it up to questions. We have a few more speakers. We have 2 more speakers. Let me see. We have DB coming up. We have Maisha coming up, and then myself as well. But before we get into the rest of the speakers, let's take a few moments to answer questions. Now, I'm going to give you a quick recap of everyone that we've heard so far. But while I'm recapping, I want y'all to put questions in the chat. And Linda will read the questions, and then we will have one of the women who have already spoken today be able to answer your question, okay? So Shandy reminded us how important it is to have confidence from the inside out. That even though our life has given us a story to play a role in, we don't have to become our story. Denisha helped us remember the importance of self-mastery, how it's so important to master our thoughts, our words, our actions, our habits, because that's what builds our character and that's what produces the life that we now live, right? So whatever we're living, whatever our reality happens to be right now, is because of all those choices we made, all those thoughts we made, all those actions, whether we made them or didn't make them. Someone said to me the other day, she said, oh, I'm so frustrated because I feel like I'm not where I want to be in life. I said, well, what are your choices? You don't deserve anything you're not willing to do. And Denisha made that very clear to us. If you want good health, you gotta make good health choices. So we have Sydney, our beautiful young entrepreneur, who showed us how we can be cute and fabulous. And we love young entrepreneurs. We do. I love the young entrepreneurs. We have Valerie reminding us of how important it is to take those steps, but when we're taking those steps, to take those steps with faith, because we may not see everything, but all we have to do is take the first step, and things will start to unfold. We also had Erica reminding us of the power of perception. When we allow other people to shape us, our ideas of who we are meant to be, then we become distorted. But it's when we look inside of ourselves and to remind ourselves who we really are, right? Because we can't step into greatness. We can only walk away from it because greatness is already inside of us. I mean, that was powerful for me. Margie shared with us, one of the things that Margie said, I don't want to skip by this. She mentioned therapy, and that was something she did for herself. This is so important, ladies, because I feel like oftentimes women, Black women especially, we're halted as like these strong women. I'm a strong Black woman, but inside we're dying, right? We're dying. Our relationships are suffering. Our health is bad. All these different things. We don't have to be strong for nobody. And actually, let's redefine strength right now, right? Showing up as a strong woman means getting your needs met. It means showing up to therapy. It means making that phone call. It means talking to your sisters. It means getting yourself inside of a healthy, thriving community. Let's redefine what strong looks like. Let's start with ourselves, making ourselves, being resilient starts with loving ourselves first. Okay, how about that? How about let that be the strong Black woman? Next we had, who do we have? Oh, we had Aaliyah letting us, and I don't think I said this before. For Aaliyah, definitely reach out to her if you want to get some information about what she does. I mean, she's a college student as an entrepreneur. I mean, let's just show her what's really good. Let's shop. I say shop there before you go to Amazon, okay? See what she has to offer you. Definitely make sure you check her out. And then we have Paula reminding us to get some things off of our chest. Get it off of your chest, ladies. What is it that's burning a hole? What is the thing that's making you feel guilty about something, that's making you feel like you can't move forward? Get it off your chest. Find a community. Find someone that you can share it with. Okay, now I'm going to open it up for questions. Linda, did any questions come through? I know at least one did. Okay, y'all better bring those questions through. Who has some questions?
I didn't see any questions that came through thus far, but I do want to say thank you to everybody. As I was preparing everyone's bios this week, literally in tears. And I just want to say that I know we use words as overcomer, survivor, conqueror. I want to say simply graced beauty to all of you. The beginning stages of anything is usually ugly. I speak from my own life. I literally gave up my will, and my will was to be a corporate executive that made six figures. That's all I wanted to do with my career and profession. And I moved up the ranks. I was blessed to make that. And as soon as I made that status, I ended up developing PTSD, going on medical leave. And during that time, I was already in God's will. I had one foot in my will and one foot in God's will. And I thought I could do both. I thought I could be effective at both, but I had to choose. And it was the same choice that Jesus made in Gethsemane, and he chose us. So I chose Jesus. And last night, as I was thinking, and what am I going to say, and how did I choose? And all these years, I've always said, I felt like I walked away from so much. And to be honest with you, I didn't walk away from all of that. I walked into all of that. I walked into who God created me to be. And I am happy that I can empower people, show people there's another way, show people you can do it. Fear is a part of it. And if you got some fear going on, you know that you are in God's will. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. That's why he gave you faith. That's why he made sure you had the Holy Spirit in you. And I'm going to put some words out here, a couple of words I'm going to put out here. The anointing is the presence and power of the Holy Spirit, and it lives within all of you. It is divine enablement and divine empowerment. And I want everyone just to reflect upon that. And then you tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can't do. God inside of you, tell me what you can't do. And it's not the sky is the limit, heaven is the limit. And I want everyone to know fear is a part of it. Apply your faith to your fear and press forward. I see that DB has signed on. DB is also family, and I love him, and he has an amazing word for all of you. And thank you for your attendance thus far. Appreciate you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you for kind of putting a cap on the first components of this conference, of this our time together. And I think everything you said, I'm ditto, because there's nothing that is out of our stretch. There's nothing that's outside of our abilities to complete, right? I always say, if there's a vision in your mind, there's a vision in your heart, it isn't there to taunt you. It's there so you can start creating. Okay, so next we have up for us, we have DB Bedford. He is a CEO and founder of I Never Worry, with specialization in emotional intelligence. There's that word again. Education, consulting, and training. DB is nationally known and admired as an expert in emotional intelligence. He explores strategies and techniques to assist people in managing their emotions while skillfully responding to the emotions of people. How you respond is the critical nature of the response. He is the author of I Never Worry, Emotional Intelligence Decoded. His favorite quote, Black intelligence is a different kind of smart. When emotions are high, logic is low. It's all on you now, DB.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So thanks for having me. Just take a moment to, I am DB Bedford. I'm an emotional intelligence consultant, born and raised in Oakland. And emotional intelligence became very important to me because, I wasn't always someone who could handle their emotions. In fact, when I look back at my life, I realized that emotions played a heavy part and a lot of the poor decisions that I made coming up. And when I look at the things where I tripped up and the times where I set myself back, most of the time I was in my feelings about something. And so I started taking a look at myself and then also taking a look at others and recognizing how every time there's a conflict or we get to the point in our life where we want to cut somebody off, like we didn't gotten our feelings about something. And a lot of times people are not open to the most logical solution to a common problem because they be in their feelings. And so, doing the kind of work that I did, I was just kind of like recognizing that this was something important. So like, for me to teach emotional intelligence, I always tell folks that I had to do something I call reverse engineering, kind of look back at my life and think about where it worked well and where it didn't go so well. And so I'm someone who parents broke up when I was like 8 years old. And so, when parents usually get divorced, right? The father tends to leave the house. But in my situation, my mother left the house. And amongst my mother and father having their, you know, they were fighting when I was about 8 years old at the time. I'm watching my mother take her stuff and leave the house, and she doesn't even see me because she's so much going back and forth with my father. My auntie come to pick her up. She's throwing stuff into the trunk. When she's about to get in the passenger side of the car, she finally makes eye contact with me. And when soon as she look at me, she say, "I'm never coming back, so don't look for me." And imagine being like an 8-year-old child and your biological mother says to you, "I ain't never coming back, so don't look for me." Now, I don't say that to throw my mother under the bus, but when we're talking about emotional intelligence, emotions, how do you feel? Intelligence, what do you do with that feeling? When you think back then, or when I thought back then, my mother wasn't talking to me, she was talking to my father. But she didn't have the ability to separate how she was feeling about him to be available for me. Get it? How many times in your life have something happen over here, and then when you over here, the people in front of you over here gets that energy? And so not being able to connect the dots and understand that, I feel like holds us back in general, but especially as a culture. So I decided I would be the guy, a thought leader in this space, and lead and try to raise awareness to as many people as possible, the art of emotional intelligence, which simply is having the ability to process emotional situations through a logical lens, right? Every time something emotional comes your way, do you have the ability to respond through a logical lens? Now, I'll leave you guys with a couple of nuggets. There's 4 elements of practicing emotional intelligence. You need to be self-aware, have the ability to manage your reactions, understand something we call situational awareness. And situational awareness is having the ability to recognize that all humans emote energy, right? So energy is just like oxygen. You can't see it, but you know it's there. And you know that to be true because I'm sure in your life, you've come across people, and before they said a word, you'd be like, "Man, what's wrong with you? You good?" Right? How do you know they're not good if they haven't said anything? It's because, right, you can pick up on the energy. So with situational awareness, when you're practicing emotional intelligence, you pick up on the energy of everybody you're engaging with. And then you make a quick assessment. Is this energy I should embrace? Or is this energy I get some space to? That's it, right? So many conflicts, so many things go bad because people are being connected to energy they had no business connected to in the first place. So situational awareness helps you with that. And then the ability to manage relationships or relationship management. Those of us that practice emotional intelligence understand the value of relationships, and we understand that people are your greatest resource. And so instead of being focused on money, which people think is the real currency, you really need to be focused on human currency and the energy we exchange amongst each other. Because when you make people feel intentionally good about knowing who you are, then you will get opportunities in spaces and in rooms that you will never have been sitting in. And so everybody on this call, no matter where you are in life, somebody opened the door for you, whether you know them or not. It was another human involved that got you connected to where you at. And if you really embrace and understand that, then you lead with trying to foster healthier relationships, because you know for the long game, you want to be as resourceful as possible, right? Because you want to be the person that no matter what's happening in your life, you know somebody that can get you to the solution. And why is that important? Because it helps you optimize your life, right? Like the goal is why we are here is to have the best experience possible. And one of the ways to do that is to be very resourceful. And if that is the goal, then humans are behind the resources because everybody is operating in different spaces. Everybody got different experiences, different levels of knowledge, and it becomes powerful when we share it. That's called collective intelligence. So I think that for the few minutes that I have left, I would like to pause right there and give anybody an opportunity that just wants to ask anything specific about emotional intelligence, or just anything you would like to hear more about the subject matter just to maximize your time here this morning or this afternoon. Anybody have any thoughts?
I just want to just stay, is everyone clear on what emotional intelligence is as a pure definition, a clinical definition? Is everyone clear on that? How about DB, how about you just give us a clear definition, a clinical definition of emotional intelligence?
Right. So I don't have a clinical definition because I'm not, that's not the space that I speak from, but in the teachings in the community that I manage, emotional intelligence is having the ability to be able to manage your own emotions, but most importantly, be able to skillfully respond to the emotions of others. And it's understanding those fundamentals, though, is understanding how to be self-aware, manage your reactions, practice that situational awareness, and add value to your relationships. Those 4 elements working together puts you in a space of being emotionally intelligent. So for me, it's just about, being able to manage yourself when you feel a certain kind of way, and also be able to respond to the external forces that come your way.
Thank you. Okay. So I wanted to say to everyone, I feel like that I want to encourage you to take the opportunity to ask questions, whether those questions are for DB or any other panelists who spoke today, because here's the deal. Walking in our purpose, this is important, because I feel anything when it comes to leadership, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to being in our purpose, self-awareness is key. And here's oftentimes where people have a rub. We say we want one thing, but we don't show up like we want that. Here's an example. You say you want to get healthy, you want to eat right, you want to exercise, you want to have a body that's going to support you for the long term. But then every time you're looking around, you're eating fried this and that and the other. You say what you say you want something, but there's a gap between your reality and what's really real. That's the lack of self-awareness. We say we want to be in our purpose, but then we have an opportunity to be with people who charge hundreds of dollars per hour, right? Hundreds of dollars per hour for clients to sit with us, and then we don't ask questions, right? So that's self-awareness. We say this, but we're showing up like this. So take the opportunity to ask questions of DB, of Valerie, of Shandy, of Erica, anyone that has spoken on this platform today, okay? So, and then also, I believe Linda put the information in the chat, how you can reach out to DB. We have one more speaker.
Thanks, Linda.
What'd you say, DB? I think
I was thanking Linda for putting the information in the chat.
Okay.
You're welcome. Can I also add that DB also has a team of emotional intelligence consultants. I am one of those consultants, and so is Margie. And we all are working on platforms right now where we're applying emotional intelligence. My concentration is going to be on bullying and also mental health in corporate America. And so we're all working on platforms. If you're interested in learning about EI and or becoming a consultant, DB is the best. I call him the EI guru. So if you're looking for that or expanding your profile, I encourage you. I sent the information in the chat room to actually contact him. As I was taking the program, I learned a lot about Linda and how to respond to people. And just in my home, I mean, EI is just needed everywhere. How to respond to, especially my youngest daughter, Big Red, everyone that I post on social media, just how to respond in general, how to wake up and to check me, because some days I don't wake up my best. And so it's really me most days. If I respond to you in a negative way, it's me. It's nothing to do with you. So I was impressed. I learned a lot about me, and I'm excited to get that platform out. I'm going to be working under the I Never Worry brand, which is DB's brand, and I'll be a consultant, and you'll be hearing more about that. So if you're interested in signing up, for income and or just to even learn about it, I encourage you to reach out to DB. He's well known, and so is his platform all across the Bay Area and all across the states as well. I trust that in 2021 he will go international.
Right on. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that.
I
see you. I see you.
I see you. That's a hint.
I also wanted to say, Linda, now I don't see it, but Margie pointed out to me that there's someone in the chat that has a question. I'm not able to see where that question is coming from. I don't see the, oh, Jamila. Jamila has a question. Okay, Jamila, go ahead and ask your question, please.
I'm sorry, because
No, it's okay.
I had totally lost the question, but man, you guys are awesome. This is great. A lot of this stuff, just hearing DB as a man talking about emotional intelligence is huge, because a lot of it stems from in our household being emotionally neglected or being emotionally abused, and everything he's saying tackles a lot, and I just can't wait to connect with many of you. I cannot wait.
That's what's up.
All right, Jamila, thank you. Thank you for that. Now we have one more speaker coming on, Maisha. I think is she logged in right now?
Maisha has not logged in as of yet. She was to log in
Okay.
at 12:15.
Okay.
Shortly.
Okay, so what I will do, I will go ahead and present, and then when I wrap up, then Maisha should be on, and then she'll close us out for today. Okay, we're just going to be a little switch. You know, we learned to pivot a lot in 2020, and that's a little bit of what I want to talk about with this. Go ahead.
Can I introduce you first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I mean, the hostess with the mostest and just beautiful. And I met Larissa at the Women the Gifts virtual retreat, and she was the hostess with the mostest there, and God was imparting, you got to come up, now we got to talk about the next step, fear. And her voice, I was very clear that Larissa has it, and that's a capital I and a capital T, and that it is whatever y'all want to put after it, because she has it, not only in her demeanor, in her look, and her voice, but she has that it factor. Larissa is a grief expert, and that she guides families and individuals into how to handle grief in the grieving process, healing from grief, moving from grief, where you still live your best life. Her focus is also in dealing with families and individuals who have dealt with those family members and loved ones who died by suicide, which is very sensitive to me, a topic to me, and also who have had a sudden death. She lost her brother to suicide many years ago, and so now she's taken that pain and she's given it purpose. I want to introduce her. I want to thank her. I love you. I love you. She's going to turn it out and turn it up. Miss Larissa, it's on you, girl.
Thank you so much, Linda. You're so precious. Linda is like, you know how when you go, have y'all ever been like when you're running through the airport, you're like, run, but then you want something sweet and they have those Cinnabon? Linda is the icing on top. Like I always want a little bit extra icing on the top. Linda's the icing on top of the Cinnabon. So thank you so much, Linda. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. Thank everyone for showing up for yourself, because more than you are showing up for us, you've all shown up for yourself, which helps us collectively to show up for one another. And I just want to talk about, you know, I had a million different things that I want to talk about as we looked at the purpose factor. But what I find when we talk about our purpose and how we're showing up for ourselves first and then to other, is to realize that finding and being clear about our purpose is all about us. And then how we move in that purpose is all about everyone else. That's why oftentimes we feel stuck and like, I have this idea, but I don't know what to do with it. Because now that you have the purpose, it no longer belongs to you. It doesn't belong to you anymore. Now it's for other people. And so I'm going to tell you, in 2016, I lost my brother by suicide. And the thing about this that really rocks my world, it's very similar to what Paula said earlier, how in 2019, her life was good. And I felt that way about my life. I felt pre-2016, everything in life was good, real good. But the thing about it, once I lost my brother to suicide, it really showed me that my life wasn't as good as I thought it was. It really presented an opportunity to crack my soul wide open. It gave me an opportunity to really examine what it is I really want in life, what it is I really want to do in life, this season in life, because seasons change, right? Part of the reason why so many of us have a hard time focusing on a purpose is because we think we have to commit to it forever. And we don't. I had 17 years in human resources, and I remember I live in the Valley in Stockton. So I worked in the Bay Area because I really wanted to continue making six figures. So every day I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, get ready so I can be on the train at 5:20 to get to work at 7 o'clock to stay at work till 8 p.m. And I did that every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday. Y'all see where I'm going with this. This became my life. What my brother's passing encouraged me to do and what made me take a look at was how I was living my life. How was I giving my power away to something outside of me? Every day when I would get on that train, I would think, what am I doing here? There has to be something better than this. I had given my power over to a six-figure career. I had given my power over to something that seemed so much greater than I was outside of me. I had given my power over to what the world said my life should look like in my 40s. I had given my power over to design a life that wasn't really truly designed by me. I had to become really clear about what it was I wanted. And I'm going to share with you all some tips that really helped me, because here's the thing. My goodness, 2020 could have been the biggest blessing or the biggest curse. And I'm someone that says, we don't give a whole year over to nothing, right? I tell my daughters, they say, oh, this is like, I'm having a bad day. No, we don't give a whole day to bad. We don't give a whole week to bad. We don't give a whole month. And we certainly are not fit to sit here and give a whole year to bad in the pandemic, right? So we're all walking around with this mask. But what my brother's death, what his transition made me do was put a mirror to myself and show me how I was masking the real Larissa. I'm a badass. I have always been. If I'm in a room, you know it. It's always been that way. But yet I was so comfortable being small. I was so comfortable wearing a mask because society said it should look like this. The pandemic has forced me, losing my brother by suicide, forced me to take off my mask and to really show up the way I want. And I'm going to share with you a few things that's going to really help you to dig deep. No, it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. Finding your way from here to there, it's never going to be easy. See, there's a gap, there's a bridge. But I'm going to show you some steps that's going to help you bridge the gap to living your purpose, to design a purpose, creating a life that works for you. Because once you find your purpose, it's no longer about you. It becomes for everybody else. So the first thing you want to do, and I want to just really let you know how this helped me. I feel like that's important because as I would be on that train for 90 minutes every day, going to work and coming home, between going home and coming home, it was a 4-hour commute, it was a 4-hour day. And so on my way home, after spending time at the office, oh my God, and thinking, what am I doing, right? I had to really look at myself, and I wrote down questions. And every day on the train, I would write another question, and I would sit with that question for a week. And I would answer, I would flip it. I would like, what if I did this? What would happen if I did this? What would this look like? What would this feel like? So I'm going to go over some steps that really helped me. Number one, you have to be honest about your life. You have to be honest about your life. Don't allow 2020 to be an excuse and saying, when this is all over, I'm going to get out there and do that. When this is all over, no, because I beg you to be honest, because if you weren't doing it before 2020, don't let 2020 be the reason why you're not doing it now. You weren't doing it then because you weren't willing to be honest, right? Allow yourself to be honest. I had to look at my marriage, right? We've been married 21 years. My sweetheart, my lover, I call him my dark chocolate knight, but if you ever meet him, you can call him the name his mom and dad gave him, which is Brian, okay? But my dark chocolate knight, I had to be honest about our relationship. At the time when I made this decision, see, because I didn't make this decision, you would think if a person with some good enough sense, the day after laying her brother to rest, she would have changed her life. No, I waddled in it for a while. Even long after having worked through my grief, I waddled in the comfortability of the known, of knowing that I can go to work today, I can get off work, and I can do this every day, Monday through Friday, and at the end of that month, I may have $11,000 in my account. I waddled and I laid there. I laid in that comfortability, calling it comfortable when I really wasn't comfortable at all. Because once you know there's something more, you can no longer buy into the lies that life is good. Life had long stopped being good. I made no effort to really move forward in it. So you have to be willing to tell the truth in all areas of your life. If you have a romantic partner, be honest about what's going on in your life. If you have a relationship with your children, be honest about what's going on. If you're not happy with the way your body looks or the way it feels, you gotta be honest. You gotta be willing to tell yourself the truth, right? Building a purpose off of lies is no purpose at all. The next thing, you gotta be honest about what you really want. Now, I had told myself for so long that I had been married to the six-figure dreams, and I made six figures as long as I can remember. And then I told myself, what I really want to make is $250,000 per quarter. And I'm not going to do that by working at this job. They're not about to pay me $250,000 a quarter. That's $1 million a year. But I had to get really honest about what it is I really wanted. And then what was I willing to do? Knowing what you want, what's required, and what you're willing to do. I made a list of all my skills. What am I good at? What do I enjoy doing? I'm great at talking. I'm great at writing. I'm great at letting people, reminding them of how amazing they are. I'm great at walking alongside people through some of the darkest days of their lives so that they can embrace the light. Not the light that's on the outside of them, but the light that's already been in the side, reminding them that you're not walking to the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light in the MFing tunnel already. Okay, I knew that I was great at that. So I had to position myself in a way to do that. The next question you want to ask yourself, what areas are you giving your power away? Now, this is a big one. This is a big one because it's 2020 and we are right here in a global pandemic. And it's easy to say that because of the pandemic, I can't go and do this. Now, true, there are certain things that we're not able to do that we weren't able to do before, but don't give your power away to the pandemic. This doesn't mean you can't come up with a business plan. This doesn't mean you can't take a walk around your block. This doesn't mean you can't reach out to any number of these coaches on this call to say, hey, show me the next step. Doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean you can't grab a great book from the library, from Audible. It doesn't mean any of that. You have to ask yourself, what have you given your power away to? For me, I gave my power away to the idea of living this six-figure life. And let me tell you about this six-figure life that I was married to. I could not go on vacations because I didn't have time. Literally, I would pay money for my sister. My sister is an educator, brilliant educator, and she would go on these trips every year, and I couldn't go. But I would pay money for my daughters to go, and my husband and I would take a little weekend getaway. But I wanted to go with them. I wanted to go to San Diego. I wanted to go with them to New York, but I couldn't, because I had given my power over to an idea of what a six-figure effort looked like. Getting on that train every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes on the weekends. Y'all, listen. One week, my manager, the VP, had gone away. And while she was away, she said to me, Larissa, I need you to take over my spot while I'm gone. So we did the training while she's gone for a week. It was like one of the worst weeks of my life. I know that there's no way on God's green earth that this is my next step. I always thought I wanted to be the VP of HR, but that was my lesson when I said no. Because if I keep allowing my life to be by default, I'm going to live a default life, and I'm not down for a default life, and no one in my presence will live a life by default either. The next thing you got to really do, and this is pivotal, women, I'm telling you, if you do nothing else, You have to know what your values are. What do you value? Who are the people you want to work with? Who are the people you want to be around? How do you want to show up on the planet? Listen, you are going to leave a legacy. We all leave a legacy. But when we know what our values, we get to live our legacy, leave a legacy with intention. Knowing what your values are is majorly important, because once you know your values, nothing can distract you. Like, I knew that what my next income goal was. I knew what I wanted my marriage to be. I knew how I wanted to feel when I woke up in the morning. So whatever decision I made had to be in alignment with those things. And if it wasn't, then that means it just wasn't for me. That makes life easy. But we can no longer live the excuse of like, I don't know what my purpose is. I want to do this. I'm good at that. This happened. That doesn't work, ladies. That's not going to do anything to up level your life. That's not going to do anything to help get your message out. That's not going to do anything for you to live the life you want to live. Because what I tell people, I spoke at a workshop this week and I said, listen, the life of paycheck to paycheck is a dud. It's a dud. The life of just enoughness, it is a dud. If you're not living from your purpose, you are not living at all. And let me just say this. Your purpose doesn't have to be Oprah level purpose. But if that's your purpose, you better live it. Your purpose can be being the best parent you want to be. Your purpose can be being the best shape you've ever wanted to be. Your purpose can be taking your bank account from this to this. Your purpose can be showing up for yourself in a way that's so powerful that it sends an invitation to other people that they can do the same. I want to see each of these women. I want to see each of you living in your purpose, because the thing about purpose is once we define what it is, it now is about others. And then we get to create. We get to co-create something beautiful for the planet. We get to co-create something beautiful that not only works for us, but works for the whole planet. Just imagine if the founding fathers of the United States had a vision to co-create something beautiful. We would not have suicide as it is. We would not have all the isms of racism and sexism the way that we do. People would be able to live their lives and flourish. But I'm here to say to you today, we can still do that, because right now it's the moment. Right now it's the time. We get to decide how we want to show up, how we want to live in purpose, live in our truth, and take the world by storm in a way that works for us. And the more we walk in our purpose, the more we're able to give that purpose, the more we're able to show other people that it's possible for them too.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Larissa. Purpose, walking in it. And Larissa is very kind. She has a book that is going to be coming out sometime in 2021, and I would definitely post on all of my social media when she does that, hoping that we can support her. It's going to be a voice in helping us to deal with grief. I'm so excited. Miss Maisha has joined us. I'm going to give it back over to Larissa, and thank you.
There it goes. I was on mute. Get my notes from Miss Maisha. Okay, am I saying Maisha?
Maisha is actually how you pronounce it, actually, in Swahili.
For the first time.
But American is Maisha.
Wait a minute, Maisha. If I said it right the first time, I'm about to take a victory lap, because I've been butchering.
Take it, honey. Take it, because that's actually a Swahili, and it means life, and it's Maisha. But American, it's Maisha.
I love it. Thank you. Okay, Maisha, she's a CEO and owner of Skincare by Maisha Skincare Studio in Oakland, California. We love to see these Oakland girls out here rocking it. Maisha is known and admired as an esthetician with magic hands and a warm heart. She serves as an accountability coach for her clients by requiring them to exercise discipline in their quest for optimal physical and emotional health as a means to peace and happiness. We love happiness. She works with people suffering from skin issues or concerns, people looking to reverse or slow down signs of aging, as well as people who want relaxation and pampering of their skin. I need to make an appointment. She enjoys working with women. As women, when we support one another, we grow as individuals and collectively, personally, and professionally. Maisha uplifts and celebrates women as sisters while I can't talk. My tongue's got a little swollen. And journeying our path to true healing and success. Her favorite quote is, "Isn't it time to look and feel great?" It's on you, Maisha.
Thank you so much. As you said, my name is Maisha Pulliam. I'm from Oakland. My business is also in Oakland, Skin by Maisha. I've been a licensed esthetician for 21 years now. And Linda, I want to thank you and your associate for inviting me today. I honestly feel honored. This aligns with who I am as a person. I've always, since I was a child, been in search of my purpose. And so this really aligns with that, my purpose, and moving into my purpose every step of the way. I've dealt with fear. So this totally aligns with what I speak to, what I've lived personally. So thank you all. So when I started, you know, in skincare, really professionally, but I'll take it back to even as a child, it was always this innate gift that I had. And along the way, what am I supposed to be, God? I always ask, what am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? But I was doing it all along the way. When I got my first real job, corporate job, I was a claims adjuster. I was still doing makeup on the side, and I'm still asking that question. I have a 3-year-old little girl. I'm still asking that question in my mid-20s. What am I supposed to be, God? What's my purpose? What am I here to do? And I got the message, you know, go to school, become an esthetician. I was already doing it, you know, just by, like I said, that innate gift I had. When I graduated from school, I got my license to be an esthetician. I was then faced at that time to leave my corporate job that I have steady money, to step out on faith and do something that I felt I was purposed to do. And I get emotional every time I talk about this. But I knew that it was in me. Do this skincare thing. You're supposed to go out and you're supposed to touch faces and you touch lives through that. I felt it was my purpose, but to leave something that I felt was so stable, so secure, it was the scariest thing in the world. But what I have learned as I have journeyed forward is that fear, it could paralyze you if you let it. So instead of allowing it to do that to me, I learned to use my fear as my fuel. So whenever fear comes up for me, I know that it's driving me forward to what I'm supposed to do. Don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. Push. I'm not going to sit here like I'm this giant that every time fear comes up, I'm at it. No, it's scary. I pause. I take too slow, too often of times to move forward. As I'm getting older, I'm moving a little faster, but for anyone who feels that, you know, they're still moving slow through fear, that's okay, as long as you're moving. Move forward. You know, if you know it's your purpose, and that purpose, that thing that just doesn't ever stop speaking to you, it just won't go away, that's when you know it's your purpose. That's when you know. And I think you mentioned, Larissa, that, you know, if your purpose, sometimes it changes, you know, sometimes it stays, but then you get other assignments, is what I call them. And those are purposeful assignments. If those things won't go away, that's what you've been put here to do. That's what you've been put here to be. And fear is going to come up. But fear, like I said, I look at it as fuel. And that's not just professionally, even personally. There's been things personally in my life, you know, my marriage, for one, you know, and I believe marriages are great when they're great, but when they're not great and they're not healthy, there's fears around those, you know, those things that you feel, you know, you don't want to leave because you don't want to be alone, or you don't know what's on the other side of that. But I have learned when you move through that fear, you use it as fuel. When you get to the other side, you realize you were afraid of greatness. You were afraid of something better, because usually, listen, for me, it's never failed. Anytime I pushed past that fear, saw purpose, felt purpose, saw it and felt it, anytime I've moved past that fear, it's always been greatness on the other side. So I definitely encourage everybody, use that fear as fuel, and you're gonna definitely come into your greatness. What else can I say about it? It is who I am. My business, I'll speak about that. There was a point when I was growing as an esthetician, and I worked in other establishments. I always had a dream, I always had a vision to create an experience for my clients, or create an environment that was conducive to not just myself, but also the people that I wanted to serve. And that's what I am. I'm a servant. Just naturally, I love to serve. And I think it's the most beautiful gift that God has given to me. But it's not just for me. I feel we all have been given that gift. I choose to walk in it, to live it, because I love it. I love serving. So I wanted to create an environment that was conducive to myself and the people I serve. So I had this vision early on, very young, that of this space. So when I was working somewhere else, you know, I could have stayed. I really wanted to, but that purpose voice came, and it's God for me. Call it what you want, but it's time to go. It's time to move. Scariest thing, you guys, because I was comfortable. I was safe. I loved the people I was with, but it was time to go. I left. I got my own business. I opened my own space, and listen, it was not what I thought it would be. Clients fell off. I was slow. I didn't have the business. I had no clue how I would be supported. But I was guided and I was supported. I look back on that 14 years ago when I first opened my business. I look back. I'm standing, I'm here. My business is still open. I have clients that support me. But there was a time that I was so afraid. I was so afraid, like, how am I gonna make it? But I pushed past that fear. I used it as fuel, and here I am today, and I'm so grateful. Now, the next step, I'm working by myself. I'm doing well, just alone. Everything's fine. And I think, Larissa, you spoke of this as well. Everything is fine. I'm thinking everything is fine. Here comes that voice, that purposeful voice, that voice that moves you into your purpose. It's time to bring some people in, some people to work with you. You can't build your dream by yourself. Yeah, you're good, but you're not that good. You got to bring people in to help you. Nobody can build a dream. At least this is my truth. No dream is built alone. That's just too much power for one person. I believe that our higher source uses people to help you build your dream. So it's because of you and the people you have with you. So again, scared. People come work with me? Am I going to be good enough? They're going to like me? Are they going to stay? Are they going to leave me? It was scary for me. You know, because, you know, things bring up trauma, things bring up things that you have been through. So for me, that was the scariest thing. For some people, it's just like they'll hire people and bring people in like it's nothing. For me, that's scary. I'm very sensitive to people, you know, energy and the people I have around me. So I was super scared of that. I did it. I brought in the most amazing support, Jessica. And Jessica's been with me over a year, and I've grown because of her being with me. And again, on the other side of fear is greatness. My daughter came with me the beginning of this year. She's with me now working. And just a few months ago, although we were closed, they shut us down, shelter in place. It's 8 months actually. She was supposed to come in March. My first esthetician I hired, she was supposed to come in March, but she's been here now, I think it's been 2 weeks now, Ashley. And again, when I was so afraid of having someone come in. Ashley's been here and it's been amazing. And my timer is on the other side. And I want to say it again. She told me I have 1 more minute. I want to say again, on using fear as your fuel is the most amazing thing and the most, I think, important thing we can do in this life. And I want to show you all what fear and fuel, using fear as your fuel will do. And my team, you guys come. Good heart. I love it. Thank you all for having us.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing so beautifully, so powerfully, and vulnerably. You know, I feel like, especially when you're working in a space that isn't, where you don't automatically see a lot of people who look like you, and you walked into a space that exactly is that, but you showed up with your message, you showed up with your mission. And now because of that, you are helping women to be able to connect their inside and their outside in a beautiful way. Thank you for how you're sharing up on the planet. You said something about pushing past the fear and allow the fear to fuel you. And that is true, because when it comes to fear, we do have a choice. We can allow it to cripple us, or we can allow it to fuel us. And I'm gonna tell you, I have an unpopular opinion about fear. I oftentimes will say, my fear is here to teach me a lesson. I'm not a face of fear and do it anyway type of person. When I see the fear, I dissect it and I see, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me, so that now when I move forward, it doesn't keep showing up. So now that I move forward, I know that I learned the lesson. I'm just going to keep on going. And so I love that you said, use that fear to fuel you. Don't use it as an excuse to move forward. One other thing I want to say as we close out today, ladies, I think one of the lessons that I always look, and I like to think that I model my life off of this. I like a lot of spiritual teachers. One of my favorite, and like, I read all the spiritual texts, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Holy Quran. I read them all because I believe that there's wisdom to extract from all of them. But one of my favorite stories is Jesus at the well with the Samaritan woman. And this is why it's one of my favorite stories. And I want to leave us all with this. Because oftentimes when we're in a state in life where we feel a little bit vulnerable, maybe that's fear showing up, maybe we're procrastinating. And just so you know, procrastination is another form of fear, because very often people aren't willing to say, I'm afraid. Procrastination is fear disguised, okay? So I want to let you know that if you're not doing that thing you're supposed to be doing, you're just afraid and you just are not humble enough to say it. I'm not making you wrong, it just is what it is. And I'm speaking that to you from experience. But one of the things that I like about the story about Jesus and the woman at the well is that he helped her to find who she was. He didn't judge her. He didn't make her feel crazy about the choices she had made in her life. He simply asked questions to help her locate who she really was and to help her locate her true purpose. At the end of that story, what this Samaritan woman did, she went back and she gave this message to her entire town, to her entire village. And as a result of this woman being in her purpose, as a result of saying, this is who I am, and the next time someone asks you who you are, just say, I am. Just say, I am, and just leave it at that. But as a result of who she knew herself to be, because she had come in contact with the master teacher, because she had come in contact with someone who loved her so deeply that he didn't judge her, that he didn't make her feel crazy for the decisions she had made. He saw her in her wholeness. And that's how I see you today. I see you in your divinity. And what I'm saying is to be like that Samaritan woman, to pull from that well, that you'll never have to be thirsty again. We all have an inner well inside of us in which we'll never have to thirst. We don't have to feel desperate because of what's happening in the pandemic. We don't have to worry about what we have, what's going to be around the next corner, because inside of us, we already have an inner well. I'm going to ask each of you to tap into that. Tap into your greatness. Tap into to your fullness, tap into the abundance that's already inside of you so that you can start living in your purpose in the way that not only works for you, but that works for all of us. I'm looking to celebrate each and every last one of you. I'm looking to celebrate you on your journey. And I can attest that I believe every single woman on this call is here to do the same. Tap into that inner world. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your home life looks like. I don't know what that diagnosis may have been, but I do know you have an inner well. You have an inner spring. Tap into it, be great, and start living your purpose. Thanks all of you ladies for showing up. I'm gonna pass this back to Linda. You all are beautiful. You're perfectly divine just the way you are. There's nothing else you need to add. Maybe let some shit go, but there's nothing else you need to add. Keep living your truth. Keep living on purpose and in purpose, and watch the world start to celebrate you because you deserve it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. This has been magnificent, magnificent. I thank every single last person. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are beautiful. Just remember that. I have one more. Do it. Whatever it is, do it. You're already called, you're already equipped, and you have it. If there's anything I can do to assist anybody on this level, the next level, reach out to me. All of you have my contact information. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time at the Purpose Factor Virtual Experience. Let's get this Saturday cracking up even more. You guys have a great day. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Signing off.
Awesome.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.